So, the cookout analogy, coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense Logical Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So, as you know, black folks, FBAs that is, are always crying about what someone's going to do for them. You know, every 4 years, every presidential election cycle, crying about what the president is going to do for them. You know, they don't do this when it comes down to state elections, not local elections, only the high profile elections, which is generally the presidential elections. But you have these black folk being led by these race hustlers, always crying about what somebody gonna do for them. What you gonna do for us? What you gonna do for us? Now, the problem with this is that you never hear anyone else doing this. You never hear anyone saying this. Hell, not even black people from other countries. You hear them crying and complaining about the need for somebody to always do something for them. You know, black from Jamaica or Haiti, or blacks who moved to America from Africa, you don't hear them crying about somebody, the need to have somebody do something for them, because they do it for themselves. And at some point in time, though, there's nothing that a politician can do, there's no law or bill that can be passed that's going to be relevant to any black person unless the black person does something to take advantage of that bill. A bill is nothing if you don't take advantage of it, and that's the problem. You got so many blacks always waiting for somebody to do something for them and never do it for themselves. And specifically, you see this mostly amongst blacks who are government dependent. Unfortunately, there's a lot of government dependence amongst FBAs. Way too much. But anyway, this is where the cookout analogy comes in. You know, the cookout that Candace Owens is not invited to. She's never invited to. That black conservatives are never invited to these cookouts. But let's say that I'm the mayor of a town, in a multiracial town, people of all races in this town, and I organize a cookout. And in this cookout, you know, like I say, I completely organize it. I find a venue, a place to hold it, usually at basically a local park where people usually hold cookouts or whatever. I hire caterers to come in and serve the food, make sure they cook up all the food, all the fixings, you know, barbecue chicken, ribs, hamburgers, hot dogs, you know what I'm saying? And all the condiments to go with them, you know. Now make sure they have the sides, the baked beans, macaroni and cheese, you know, the potato salad without the raisins. For some reason, black folks are always crying about white people putting raisins in potato salad, although I've never seen white folks put raisins in potato salad. I have to say that there's no white people out there who don't. But, you know, make sure that the sodas are all iced up and ready to go. Get a head count to make sure there's enough food for everybody. A head count of who's going to show up. I even have desserts and even frozen desserts out there, so that everyone can have, at the cookout, can have a good time. So here comes the day of the cookout, and like I say, everybody's out there having a good time, everybody's eating, and then you have the race hustlers. The race hustlers leading a bunch of other black folks into being victims. You know, the first all they'll cry about the music. They're playing these white folks' music, right? And then they start playing black people's music, or they culture appropriating, just being victims by everything, because that's what typically the loudest mouths, the biggest complainers and the loudest mouths are typically the black folks. Crying, complaining, and that the black folks aren't eating, listening to these white supremacists. Everybody else is eating, all these other people eat, but they ain't got nothing for black folks, even though there's plenty of black folks who are eating. But the race hustlers have to be race hustlers and lead black folks into being perpetual victims, crying about the food. They're not eating anything. And I'm like, well, that's because you're not going up there and eating. If you want something to eat, you got to go up there to where the food is. You got to go up there to where the servers are, grab a plate, get what you want on your plate. Let the server serve what you want. Grab your soda, sit down and eat. You want something, chips or anything, hamburger, hot dog, chips, you know, desserts, go up there and get it, sit down and eat like everybody else. And again, it's not like it's a guarded secret of what you have to do. It's not like the information on how to get something to eat at this cookout. You got to go watch a Hidden Colors film, a Hidden Colors documentary. Okay, you don't have to know how to, quote unquote, navigate white supremacy to get something to eat. You just look at what everybody else is doing and repeat it. Go up to where the food is, get you something to eat, and eat it. But the problem is these race hustlers keep they con black folks into crying about, well, since it's not just for black folks, it ain't for black folks. This ain't for black folks. And they're sitting down not eating. Now, of course, like I said, the race hustlers, they're full. They're stuffing their faces, but telling black folks, other black folks, this ain't for black folks, so don't go eat. Well, there's nothing more that we can do for you. As the organizer of this event, I can't do no more for you. What you want me to do now? You want me to go up there and fix you a plate and get your soda and bring it back to you. Then what you want me to do? Open your mouth and get a fork, utensil, and spoon the food in your mouth. Grab your top lip and your bottom lip and move them up and down to try to simulate a chewing motion, and then put your head up to try to get you to swallow. I mean, you want me to do everything for you. I can't do everything for you. And that's what you want me to do later on that day. Come to your house, grab you by the hand, bring it to your bathroom, pull your pants down, sit you on your toilet, knock the shit out you some type of literally, and then pull you up, wipe your ass, and then flush your toilet, and pull your pants back up, and then bring you to your living room. I mean, at some point in time, you got to do something for yourself. There's only so much that I can do. And this is the problem with so many black folks. Again, just waiting for everybody else to do something for them. And this cookout analogy, honestly, is so indicative of what you see happening from all these blacks today. They're always crying, complaining about something, and always waiting for somebody to do something for them. But at some form and fashion, you got to do something for yourself. So as I said, I don't care how many bills passed, how many laws passed for you, although they say Donald Trump never did nothing for black folks, even though he did plenty of black stuff for black people. But it doesn't matter what somebody do for you. At some point in time, in some form and fashion, you got to take a step forward to do for yourself. And that's the only way it's going to work. And this is the problem with so many black people. We can get past the victimhood and stop listening to these race hustlers feeding nonsense to black folks they can do for themselves. You live in a land of opportunity. There's a reason why people are wanting to come to this country. They're not coming to America. People want to come to America to experience white supremacy. They come to America because of all the opportunity that exists here. Okay, people coming from Central and South America, walking thousands of miles, not to be partaking in white supremacy, but to partake in everything that America has to offer. And in large part, they do. But you got to do something. That's it. Black folk, we got to start doing stuff. They got to stop crying, stop listening to these race hustlers, stop crying about what is somebody going to do for us, and ask what we're going to do for ourselves, because the opportunity is there for everyone. Anyway, y'all, like I said, that's my 2 cents. The cookout analogy, the reason why I give analogies is because it's a good way of conveying information to people, usually in the situation of something that people have been in and experienced. That's what makes analogy so great, is because it conveys an experience as opposed to just text on the word. It text or just words. So black people, at some point in time, you got to do for yourself. End of story. And there's nothing that's going to benefit you until you're ready to do that. Anyway, y'all, as always, until next time.